What's up, everybody? Man, it's your boy, Mr. Dewey, coming at y'all with another video, man. And today I'm going to preview and predict Sunday's NFC Championship game. You have the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Green Bay Packers, yo. Before I get into this video, man, for everyone, if you want to give me a follow on Instagram or send me a friend request on Facebook, I'm gonna have my Instagram and my Facebook information down in the description box. Come give me a follow on the gram. Oh, excuse me, come and send me a request on the book. Come holler at your boy, yo. Here we are, man. These two teams, man, along with the New Orleans Saints, have been the best teams in the NFC all season, man. San Francisco kind of came out of nowhere, man. And obviously had a tremendous season, was the last undefeated team, in the NFL. And the Green Bay Packers, man, starting with that Thursday night opener, where they squeaked it out and their defense played well. They've been a pretty consistent team all year, man. And here they go, man, battling it out to get to the NFC, to the Super Bowl. First, man, taking a look at the Green Bay Packers, man. Obviously they led by quarterback, man, one of the greats of all time, like Stephen A. Smith referred to him as the bad man, Aaron Rodgers, man, who is, one of the most, physically gifted, quarterbacks of all time, man. Obviously he's not quite as dynamic as he was in his younger days, but he's still pretty prolific, man. Still throws a great ball, still can move around when he needs to. Just one of the all-time greats, man. They got the O-line has been, at times got dominated, but at times have done pretty well, man. Of course, led by guys like David Bakhtiari. The running game, man, something that the Green Bay Packers haven't had in years, before this year, man. Aaron Jones is one of I think he was either tied with Christian McCaffrey or ahead of him, something like that. He's up there, man, in touchdowns for the season. Aaron Jones has been a big time player, man. Not just running the ball, but also catching the ball out the backfield also. Their receiving core, man, you got one standout receiver, man, in Davante Adams, who battled some injuries this season. Didn't have quite the regular season that he wanted to have. But, anybody who's followed the Green Bay Packers over the years when they've been in the playoffs is Davante Adams usually performs his best when it's playoff time. And guess what? It's playoff time. And last week he had 2 touchdowns, man. So, he's right on pace of doing, everything that he normally does. Got some young receivers around him, man, and guys like Valdez, Scantling, Lazard, Allison, and the veteran tight end Jimmy Graham, who's not quite the 20 tight end he used to be, but he's still a big dominant force, once Green Bay gets within the red zone. Defensively, man, which is where they've been much improved this season, the Smith boys, man, Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, have been wreaking havoc all season, getting after the quarterback. And I think they both, had real arguments, for being Pro Bowlers, man. Both was left, off of the Pro Bowl rosters, but both those guys are amazing, man, getting after the quarterback. Blake Martinez is just an absolute tackling machine, in the linebacker position. And they secondary, man, with they got veteran back there, Trevon Williams, I think it's Williams, however you say his name, number 38. He back there with the safety Amos. But they got some young guys, man, it's Savage and, Jared Alexander, Kevin King. At times, they get beat a little bit, but at times they handle their business, man. So obviously with first-year head coach Matt LaFleur, who has brought in a more balanced attack offensively, and this team is playing really well, man. Last week took on the Seattle Seahawks, jumped out to a big lead. It got a little more uncomfortable for them toward the end than they would like. It took a big time sack by I think it was Zadarius Smith. Was Zadarius or Preston? One of them got the big sack on Russell Wilson toward the end of the game. They get the ball back and Aaron Rodgers, man, converts 2 first downs, man, that basically puts the game away. Big win for them last week, and it got them in the position they are, this week, man. Aaron Rodgers, man, is trying to, get to just his second Super Bowl, man. And then you look at the San Francisco 49ers, man. This team is pretty loaded, man. When you look at offensively, they led by quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, who had his ups and downs this season, man. At times he's looked very, very good, particularly the game in New Orleans against the Saints. And then at times he kind of struggled a little bit, man. But nevertheless, they got a decent offensive line, man. And then they running game, man. They got 3 running backs that all run at least a 4.4, man. Tevin Coleman, who had a couple of touchdowns last week, he's experienced in these big playoff moments. Matt Breida, and Raheem Mostert, all those guys could really run, man. So they got a very dangerous running attack, and head coach Kyle Shanahan will not hesitate to run the football. Like, he will not, after Jimmy G threw that pick, they ran it they went a whole drive where they just ran it down Minnesota's throat and got into the end zone. Then they got, to me, the best tight end in all of football, the most complete tight end in all football, in George Kittle, man. This guy has just been amazing, man. Not only is he a great receiver, he can run after the catch, he is an elite blocker, and he is just extremely tough, man. And he's clutch. So that guy is just amazing to have over there. They got, a nice blend of they got a veteran receiver in Emmanuel Sanders, who they got in a trade from the Denver Broncos. And ever since he's been in San Francisco, man, he's just been amazing. Just revived his career. Not only is he producing, but he's a good example, for the younger receivers, such as Deebo Samuels, man, who is he kind of reminds me a little bit of like an Anquan Bolden, man. He's a very thick, strong receiver with strong hands, and he can make plays after the catch, man. Barn, man, he's a nice, solid slot receiver. But yeah, offensively, man, these guys loaded. But they really want to run the football and use play action pass with Jimmy G. And Kyle Shanahan does a great job of doing a lot of window dressing before the snap. I seen a stat where they do way more motions before the snap than any team in the NFL by far, man. So just an extremely very creative offense. And of course, I got to get to their defense, man, which is where they make their money, where they get their victories, man. They have been struggling down the stretch, but credit to a couple of their fans. They let me know they was getting guys back like D Ford and Quan Alexander, former LSU Tigers, and Jaworski Tarp. I guess I probably said his name wrong, but Tarp, y'all know who I'm talking about. This defense is stout, man. Up front, man, they led by these pass rushers, man. You got Eric Armstead, you got Nick Bosa, and now you got D Ford out there. I mean, how do you block these guys, man? They're very, very physical, and they really get after the quarterback. Like I said, a linebacker core, man, with Greenlaw and the return of Quan Alexander, who was amazing last week. And then their secondary, they got Richard Sherman, man, Mr. Veteran himself, got a pick last week, still playing at a Pro Bowl level. And on the other corner, it looked like they're going to go more with Mosley. They started with the spoon out there, and he struggled. They went with Mosley, and he went out there and did a great job. And, of course, they got their safety Tark back, man. Very, very physical defense, man. As you look at their game last week against the Minnesota Vikings, honestly, going into that game, I thought Minnesota would win and had a real shot at winning. But San Francisco just showed reminded us how physical of a team they are, man, on both sides of the ball. Lining up on offense and running the ball right down Minnesota's throat. And Minnesota was a good defense. So it's like they ain't just did this to some powder puff, man. They lined up and ran right down the Vikings' throat, man. And defensively, like, they just got after, they stuffed the run with Dalvin Cook, and they just got after Kirk Cousins, man. And they just played, with the exception of, the guy Witherspoon giving up the long touchdown pass to Stephon Diggs. They just played absolute smothering defense after that, man. I mean, Minnesota Kirk Cousins didn't stand a chance, man. But the key to them, man, they shut down the run game, man. They absolutely bottled up Dalvin Cook last week, man, who was coming off of a very nice game against the New Orleans Saints the week before. And they, blanketed all the receivers, man. It's a big time defense, yo. Which now leads to my prediction, man. Aaron Rodgers is amazing. I know these teams met earlier this season, and I know San Francisco completely dominated this game. I think it was like 37-8. Rodgers had only like 100 yards passing. They sacked him 5 times. Like, it was just an absolute beat down, dominant performance last time they met in Levi Stadium. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers is amazing. And the fact that they got experience against this team, they seen this team in that setting in a primetime game earlier this season, you would think would give Green Bay a little bit of an advantage, as now they know what to look for. They could scheme a little better and, potentially play much better. But man, the San Francisco 49ers, man, they're just too physical. Like, I don't know if Green Bay can match San Francisco physically on both sides of the line of scrimmage, man. I think the 49ers are going to win this game. I think they're going to get after Aaron Rodgers again, man. Like, they similar to what they did last time. And I think they're going to line up and they're going to run the football, use play action passes, and take their shots downfield. Kyle Shanahan has been calling plays at a brilliant level. I got the San Francisco 49ers beating the Green Bay Packers Sunday. I'm going to go with a score of, I'm going to go 28-14. San Francisco knocks off Green Bay and punches their ticket to the Super Bowl, yo. With that being said, man, that's all I got for y'all today. Appreciate y'all checking out the video. Go on, hit the like button for your boy and give me a subscribe, man. I'm going to have Philadelphia Eagles and NFL content throughout the year. Also, this coming Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to do a live Q&A. Y'all could come on there and ask me anything, tell me anything. I'll answer your questions, respond to your comments, and give you a shout out on the live, yo. Y'all should join me. It'll be some good stuff. Until then, man, y'all have a blessed one. Fly, Eagles, fly.